Hello, good people who want to intern. So, I'm going to be talking about my internship experience. My name is Chase Ellett, and I interned at a high school near where I live as part of the counseling department. It's very important that you understand the counseling department at the school. So, let's start off. I found this internship through the local high school. As I said, the supervisor of the department is actually a neighbor of mine, and I was able to get it set up through him. Now, the thing you have to understand, though, is that I set it up through him, but I still had to go through the school district to get things set up between BYUI and the school that I worked at. It was mostly through the HR department, and they wanted just to make sure that, what were the requirements, what did I have to do, and they wanted to approve it. So I had to get it approved through the supervisor and through the HR department. My responsibilities were, as you'd probably expect from an internship, as I started doing a lot of the filing and grunt work that nobody likes doing. Um, but I did get a chance to work with some students through tutoring and helping them get set up through their online tutoring to help them succeed through their courses. I found that the counseling department is in charge of a lot of the college and career readiness, and a lot of that has to do, yeah, with their grades, but it also has to do with helping them emotionally, behaviorally, and that kind of stuff. But all of it is so they can get to college or towards a career that they want to be a part of. Um, there were several interventions that we did to help these students, especially the ones that are struggling. And at this school, that's a large majority, but we started with small testing groups to see what programs work the best. And I got to be a part of deciding what programs we could use. I got to be a part of building some programs that would help these students essentially. Um, and this was also a transitionary period, so I got to help build a lot of the stuff that they are currently using. How was I a benefit to the site that I worked at? Well, I got to, as I mentioned, be a part of creating several programs that helped that they are currently using. So being there and being a part of that, I feel I was a benefit to them, adding my very fresh college experience to what they were doing, being fresh with a lot of the theories and a lot of the things that we've been taught, and being able to talk about it and find practical application. On the flip side of doing the grunt work, which no one likes doing, um, I was able to alleviate a lot of stress from the people that work there full time so they could concentrate on getting things working. Now, this semester, or quarter, as they do it in high schools, they had a lot of technical difficulties switching from second to third quarter, and a lot of kids had been dropped out of their courses. And so this put everyone behind trying to get all that sorted. So having me be there, I was able to take a lot of the busy work, which I hate doing, but I did it anyway. I was able to take a lot of the low level stuff out of the way so they could focus on getting things back up to date faster. And they were able to get on track within a few days rather than several weeks, as it would have been if I wasn't there to take a brunt of that grunt work. So I personally benefited from this experience through, there's several ways. The first one would be that I was able to get work experience again. Um, in my situation, I'm the stay-at-home parent, and so being able to um, get this internship to work was difficult enough, but being able to be back in the workforce was a huge plus. It reminded me of what it was like to be on the clock again. I had to remember how to wake up at a proper time and not stay up too late, um, but how to function throughout the entire day. Now, the fun thing is that working is actually a whole lot easier than raising kids, so it kind of felt it felt easier to do than being at home all day. Although there are some benefits to being at home all day, such as being able to eat whenever I want. So getting adjusted to that again is good because through this internship, I was also able to make connections with some of the people there, and we're working towards getting me a job here in the school district, preferably in this area that I live in. but that wouldn't have happened if I didn't go through this internship. So that's something that's benefited me personally through this experience, is that I can then move on and make a career out of this, whether it's in the counseling department or a different avenue. Um, Either way, being able to work here is something that can work towards my ultimate goal. So the internship is how all of that made it happen. I made a lot of connections from a lot of the coursework that I have gone through up to this point. Now the thing is with the internship is I wasn't able to make a whole lot of specific connections. A lot of it was, general things that I learned. It's like, oh yeah, I remember learning about that. Now, I wasn't able to put names on it per se, but it was because of that training I was able to see where the students are coming from, where the counselors are coming from, even the parents. And going back to creating the programs that we had for college and career readiness, all of it kind of built together to find different avenues of ways to help these kids succeed. And so I can't put a name on a lot of the things that were used, but I would say it's an amalgamation of a lot of it. Is that because of all the experience, I felt I was prepared to help these kids as well as help the department itself. Now, there's another side of it, and it's something that I've been learning a lot recently in my 445 class, which is the Teaching Family Life Education, is its huge focus on ethics. Now, it's not a huge focus, but there is a focus on ethics, and it's very important to understand what ethics are, how to be ethical in the workplace. That works or applies especially in a counseling department where there's a lot of sensitive information. There's a lot of grades and transcripts being thrown around, which is sensitive information, but also some kids coming in and having emotional, mental issues, and these things that you just can't talk about with people. And being aware of where the boundaries are. I couldn't just step up and say, well, I know how to fix you. You can't do that kind of stuff. It's not ethical. It's not correct. It's not how things are done, especially as an unpaid intern. So I had to know where the boundaries were, and that was a great benefit to me because I knew where the lines were. I knew not to cross them, and knew, what was expected of me and what I could do, which saved me a lot of time and not being sued, which is a wonderful thing, not being sued. I would definitely recommend this site to anyone that lives here, which is a huge thing. If you don't live here, I don't know why you'd sign up for it, but it was a wonderful experience for me. I got to learn a lot of hands-on application stuff. I got to learn a lot from my supervisor. We got to sit down and, I wasn't able to be part of a lot of the counseling sessions because that's something that's prohibited by the district itself. Um, but through, after those sessions happened, I would be able to sit down with the counselor and we could talk about theoretical what if scenarios where I could talk through his experience, through the things that he's learned and seen, and through my things that I've learned through these courses, and what the best solution would be to some of these scenarios. So, although I couldn't sit in real life situations, we were able to talk about it, and I was able to learn through someone's experience. And all of that is tied into, yeah, I would recommend the site for that reason, because the supervisor there is a psychologist and he knows and has used a lot of these things through the years. So I could learn through him a lot of these applications. The person to contact would be the head of the counseling department at this high school, which is Monument Valley High School in Utah. And his name is Jeffrey Fitzgerald. At this time in 2022, who knows what it would be in the future. You never know what kind of plans are held, but that's who you contact here to go through him, and then you work through him through the district. But again, not sure why you would do it if you don't live here. So that was my internship experience. I enjoyed it. I learned a lot. There's also a lot of downtime and a lot of busy work, which is not my favorite, but there were a lot of other things that I learned through observations and um, other experiences, such as working with students and seeing what the people there were doing. I guess that's it.